What's up guys, Curtis here and welcome to a brand new FIFA 10 to FIFA 21 video. That's right, I'm back with another episode of FIFA content. You may have seen my video last week where I talked you through the last 3 years of my life since kind of quitting YouTube and what I've been up to. And I said at the end of the video that I kind of want to make some videos and I want to just have a bit of fun, just doing the stuff that I enjoy and just, you know, making some content that you guys can watch. So that is exactly what we're here doing today. I'm not going to talk to you for too long, but what we're going to do is we're going to look at players that have had confirmed signings during this summer window, and we're going to look at how their cards have changed from FIFA 10, how they've changed up to FIFA 20, and then what they might look like in FIFA 21 at their new clubs. What I'm going to say is, you know, as someone that's kind of returning back, your support does mean a lot and it makes a big difference to these videos. So if you do enjoy it, do seriously give it a thumbs up and give me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Do you want to see more videos like this? What sort of transfers do you want to see me cover? And just talk to me in the comments down below, because that's how, you know, this is all fun and worthwhile. So we're going to kick off. I had to kick off with an Arsenal player. Of course I did. It had to be done. We're starting off with Willian. Now, Willian has made a move from Chelsea to Arsenal. Now, there's a lot on the screen here. A lot of players aren't in the game prior to FIFA 14 for a number of reasons, whether they're too new, whatever it is. So we've got some special cards in the top corner. But you're going to see Willian, FIFA 14, was an 83 rated left winger. Then became an 82 rated right mid. His pace was decent. It was a decent in-game card. And he stayed pretty similar for the next year as well. Then he got a massive boost up to 85 for FIFA 17. Decent card, 85 rated, but his stats weren't actually that different to his FIFA 16 card, so it was mainly a vanity boost. FIFA 18 continued to be decent. FIFA 19, he had a good card, but last year he got quite a bit of a downgrade, which is bizarre because FIFA 20, or last season, he actually went on to have, I believe, his second best season in terms of goals and assists. Now, I don't know if I should give my opinion on the signing. I'm slightly nonplussed by it. I think we've got a lot of good attacking wingers. I think there's a lot of alternatives in our squad going forward. Maybe he will offer some experience for the first year, but a 3-year deal might be quite a lot. But I've ranked his card. As you can see, it's probably that side. It depends what way it's flipped, but it's on that side, I think. He's probably lost a touch more pace, but I think his shooting's probably fair to have gone up a little, because he scored, I think, 9 goals last season, one of his better returns. His passing I've just bumped up slightly. Physical's gone up slightly. He seemed a bit stronger on the ball. He got a good amount of assists. Again, I think it was something like 8 in the league. So a relatively profitable season for an attacking player, and that is what I think maybe his card will look like next year, and that's how he's changed. So Arsenal fans, if you want to see what he's been like, there you go. Also worth noting, the bloke gets tons of special cards, and not just in forms. Like he's always in promos, So some good opportunities to maybe, you know, get a look at what he could get for Arsenal next season. Next up, we have Konstantinos Tsimikas. Now, this guy doesn't have many cards. He doesn't have a single special card. He's only been in FIFA for a few years now. FIFA 18 was his first year in FIFA when he was at Willem 2 in Holland. Now, very average card. Nothing to even shout home about here. 66 rated left back. Not very pacey. Pretty average. But then he went to Olympiacos, where he got boosted up, and in FIFA 20 he got boosted up again. Now, last season he was a 72 rated card. You'll see he's only 24 years of age, so still chance to keep rising. But yeah, 72 rated card, relatively decent pace, which is always good. His defending physicals were okay. But I think next year we're going to see him get an even bigger boost. Now, currently in head-to-head, I think he was 74 in the latest update at like March sort of time. So you'd think, especially with the move to Liverpool, he's at least going to become a gold. And you'd imagine he'll end up being a gold rare with 89 to 90 pace, which will be decent. He'll be a really good starter card left back for your ultimate team, and definitely one to keep an eye out for if that's what you're after. Liverpool fans, he's not going to replace Andy Robertson, but at least you won't have to play James Milner at left back for much longer. Next up, we have Nathan Ake. Now, Nathan Ake, you'll see he does actually have a FIFA 13 card, but he doesn't have a FIFA 14 card. He did have one, but it was exactly the same as his FIFA 15 card, so I didn't think it was worth using up a space on the top line for it. I wanted to get some special cards in. You'll see FIFA 13, Nathan Ake was obviously at Chelsea. Many people know this. He was a centre-back with really good pace, and he was always dead exciting on like FIFA in terms of career mode and Football Manager. He had a couple seasons out on loan. You see from 16 and 17, he was at Watford on loan where he was a left back, and then he also had one season on loan at Bournemouth where he was a left back before he then moved there permanently. He's had 3 seasons there. He's continued to improve. Bournemouth went down last season, of course, but he still had a relatively decent season. He's had a boost in head-to-head and career mode as well, which is the same as Tsimikas, which is another reason why I've given him a slight boost to that card. So, yeah, that's why for next year, well, I'm going to say 82. You know, you get the move to City, you usually do get a little boost, but he also did slightly improve in-game anyway as a Bournemouth player. So he could be a good one. He always gets amazing special cards, and, you know, just his winter upgrade card, all those different ones. 83 pace. He's going to be a fun card next year. Now, you still get that strong link with Van Dijk, so if for any reason you pack Van Dijk or anything like that, you can stick Aki in there. First half of the FIFA year, it's going to be an unreal partnership, and just a really fun card, especially if he gets a little pace boost and goes a little bit quicker, a little bit higher defending stats. He could be definitely one to watch out for next year, and there's a good chance he starts a bit for City. You know, if Laporte gets injured again, or if they have, you know, I know he's left-footed, but so I can't see Pep playing both Laporte and Nathan Ake, but, you know, if for any reason he gets into the starting lineup, he could be getting some serious informs next season. Next on the list, we have quite a fun and potentially interesting one in Kyle Walker-Peters. Now, Kyle Walker-Peters, he's been at Tottenham for quite a few years. He got his break when Kyle Walker moved to City, and they had a gap from injury at some point. Obviously, they didn't have two right backs at the time. I think Aurier he was out, so it went straight to Kyle Walker-Peters. And I think he's got potential to be a really interesting one next year. I personally think he was great for Southampton in the second half of the season. It was a good reason why they kind of kicked on and why they were such a good team in the second half. And he's got a good bit of pace about him. He's also really technically gifted. He's really good on the ball. He's really good at playing out from the back. And I think he's someone that can be a really useful talent for the system Ralph Hasenhüttl will be playing next year. I personally am quite excited to see him. Even though he's an ex-Tottenham player, like I'm glad he's got the move. Obviously, he's switched for Højbjerg, who I think we're going to talk about later in this episode. But yeah, so he's grown from FIFA 17. He was a bronze, he was a silver, 65, 69, 74. And then next year, I think surely, after getting so many Premier League minutes, he is guaranteed surely to be getting that nice gold upgrade. He's going to be a high 70s, hopefully a usable starter card at the start of the year. And yeah, just a decent little card for Southampton. This next card is one that I think is going to be very, very interesting next year. So Jonathan David was at Ghent and has been at Ghent for the last few years, but he has had two amazing seasons. Last year, in the 1920 year, he got 18 goals, 8 assists as kind of a centre forward, attacking mid, kind of between, just off the striker. Absolutely brilliant. He got that incredible 94 rated card that I'm sure most of you have packed at some point this summer. I did. I think I packed it about 3 times, but that card was ridiculous, and he was already very interesting just from his informs. Like, he had an inform in FIFA 19 in the top left where he got 94 pace. His inform this year was 87 pace, but he's obviously a rapid, exciting striker, and he's gone to Lille. He's replaced, obviously, the gap where Victor Osimhen, where he's gone to Napoli, who I think we're going to cover in the next episode. The gap where he is left to Napoli, that is now available, which he's hopefully going to go straight in. I think he could be dead exciting next year. He's going to have some quality cards. Hopefully he sets the Liga 1 alight and we see some really interesting informs. And that could be one that is a lot of fun. Next up, we have King David Silva. If you watch English football, you love David Silva. The guy has been amazing in the Premier League for such a long time. I'm not a City fan, but I absolutely love watching him play, and he's definitely going to be sorely missed. I personally think he could have gone somewhere bigger and better than Real Sociedad. Obviously, they've now got the gap with Odegaard going back to Real Madrid, but wow, he's a player. He's an absolute player, and I think he's going to be... He's still got it. Don't get me wrong. Like, the guy could still be bossing it right now. But if we go back to Valencia for FIFA 10, he was a left mid, really low rated, but got a move in FIFA 11, obviously, to Manchester City, where he was an attacking mid. And he spent the majority of his time in attacking mid for Man City. I know City... There's always a system at City, whether it was under Pellegrini or the Pep Guardiola one. There's always wingers playing in slightly unusual positions. There was always something going on with City, and David Silva, you know, there was a time when he's been playing in a Man City lineup where there have been 5 attacking mids and a striker and no defensive mids. So this guy has kind of done it all for City over the years. You'll see actually his defensive stats have gone up recently, where he's been forced to play a bit deeper, and we all knew he had it in him, but it's not until they show it in the game that it's reflected on their card. But very consistent stats for the last kind of like 7-8 years. The guy's an assist machine. His pace is dropping down quite quickly, but that passing and dribbling, he's never going to leave him. And boy, what a player David Silva is. I think hopefully he gets some nice cards next year. But yeah, absolute player. Coquelin had to be included in this one. What an absolute player he was. He had such an interesting career for Arsenal. Obviously, you see he started there. He was at Lorient. That was on loan. He had a loan at Freiburg, a loan at Charlton. And then actually finally broke into our squad kind of like 2014-15 season, where he was part of the pivot with Santi Cazorla. Now, injuries affected him and affected Cazorla, but that was probably the most balanced Arsenal had been for a long time, was when we had that pivot of the two players. And he eventually got moved on by, I believe it was Unai Emery. He went to Valencia, where he spent a few seasons. And then this summer has gone to Villarreal for 13 million. Him and Parejo have both gone to Villarreal for like a combined 16 million or something crazy. Like, I just don't understand. Valencia are a shambles at the minute. It looks like Rodrigo's going to Leeds too, who will feature in an episode soon. So it's all gone mad. But I had to include Coquelin. He's always going to be an Arsenal legend for me, and I thought some other fans might have found it interesting to take a look at that one too. And then we are going to finish up with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. It's so weird saying Pierre M and not going Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I'm sure you'll know that he started his career off at Bayern Munich. He didn't really get that many minutes there. He went on loan to Augsburg, to Schalke, as you can see in some of his earlier cards. He did get an inform at Bayern Munich, that bronze inform, which is just always good. The old bronze informs were a lot of fun back in the day. But yeah, so he didn't really get much of a look in, and then obviously he got his move to Southampton, where he's slowly become more of a consistent starter for them over the last few years. And then this season just gone, he had kind of his breakthrough season, I would say. He played almost every game. He was part of them really kind of rejuvenating in the second half of the season, and he was that kind of ticking guy in the midfield. Now, I've bumped him up to 80 ahead of his move to Tottenham. Like I said earlier, he went one way with Kyle Walker-Peters going the other way, and then a bit of cash changed hands too. But he could be interesting for Tottenham. I don't know what it means for Eric Dyer, because I think they're probably going to want to be playing kind of in that gap in the defensive midfield position. But we'll see. He can also play box to box. He's got some good stats, and could be a player that does get some interesting cards. If you're a Tottenham fan next year, he could be one to watch perhaps. I don't know what they're going to do with his pace. I've given it a slight boost, but hard to tell really. Sometimes cards fluctuate so much, so I've kind of based it again off head to head and a few other bits, but we'll see what happens. But that, guys, brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, then please leave a like, and of course don't forget to subscribe if you want to be the first to find out about any upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.